Hello, and thank you for watching this regional forecast for the Canadian Prairie. I'm Andrew Pritchard, Senior Meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. Well, as we check in with temperatures across the region, cooler in the west, warmer in the east. This is a pattern that we talked about a lot last week as we deal with a trough that's kind of anchored across the west there. We've got cooler air coming in on the backside, warm air feeding in on the leading east side, and between those two areas, the battleground here has led to a very active pattern across the Canadian Prairie, bringing a good chance for a lot of us to see some measurable precipitation across the region, in addition to some severe storms, which we already saw over the weekend in some select areas. Now, as we check in at the satellite picture, you can see the flow of the jet stream just racing around the base of that trough, coming into the northern plains of the U.S. and the Canadian Prairie there, and resulting in a lot of these bright white cloud tops, which are clusters of thunderstorms and heavy rain producing showers, again, from the Canadian Prairie all the way down through the northern plains and the Great Lakes of the U.S. Now, as we check in here early on this morning, this Monday morning, we've got some showers and storms across portions of south-central Manitoba, just north of the Winnipeg area. We've got showers kind of rotating around the area of low pressure across central and southern Alberta, and even some isolated showers across portions of Saskatchewan. And then as we head through the rest of the day today and into the next couple of days, we're going to see this storm system bringing that chance for showers and storms to the region. So let's go ahead and bring it back to Monday morning here. We're looking at the NAM model here, the North American model, taking it into this Monday afternoon and evening. Again, the most widespread shower activity going to be found across southern portions of Alberta and Saskatchewan. This is an area that, if there is anywhere here in the Prairie that could really use a drink, it's going to be across that area. I did get some feedback here from southwestern Saskatchewan that you could really use a drink there. So hopefully this afternoon and evening we get that in the form of some showers, maybe even some thunderstorms as we head into the day on Tuesday. A little bit more instability coming into the region, especially across central and southeastern portions of Saskatchewan. This is where I think that severe weather risk is going to be a bit the highest on Tuesday afternoon and evening. But nonetheless, shower and thunderstorm activity continuing to wrap around this area of low pressure, bringing heavy rain to portions of central and southern Alberta into central and southern Saskatchewan. And then as we head into Wednesday, kind of the cold front here, and the best instability going to be kind of lifted up and east of that area. So the best chance for showers and storms as we head into Wednesday afternoon and evening, going to be kind of in an arc from, central Alberta, central Saskatchewan, down into central and southern Manitoba. And again, this is kind of the area of low pressure back here across Alberta, and then we get the cold front, just kind of arcing through this area, and we've got much drier air pushing in from the southwest at this point. And that's going to bring a little bit of a break to the more widespread shower and thunderstorm activity as we head into the end of the week. So here's Wednesday afternoon and evening now at this point, and then as we go into Thursday, we see maybe some isolated thunderstorms. This is Wednesday night here, getting into early Thursday morning, coming around on the backside here, potentially through portions of the Prairie. So just taking the raw model output here, this is not exactly how it's going to end up, but you see again kind of the uneven distribution here, where a lot of folks are going to get at least the chance for maybe 10 to 25 millimeters of precipitation, but some of the really heavy amounts here, where some areas potentially seeing in excess of 40 to 60 millimeters of precipitation, just as a byproduct of maybe some of these training thunderstorms, which what I mean by that is clusters of thunderstorms that are kind of running up and over the same area, and then maybe multiple rounds of some of these heavy storms. And that possibility looks to be highest kind of in this corridor. This is where I think the best chance for some of those locally heavy rainfall producing thunderstorms is going to be. And then we got the chance for some locally heavy rainfall here as you head west across portions of Alberta. You get some of the terrain influence there. Some of the areas that might end up getting maybe missed a little bit here does continue to be this area of southwestern portions of Saskatchewan down into southeastern Alberta, kind of the far southern border of Saskatchewan and Alberta. We'll have to watch this area. It's an area that kind of wants to get missed, just again because of the product of the pattern here. Getting the heaviest thunderstorms coming up and around that frontal boundary, draped across this area, and then we get the heavier rain here, where we get the terrain influence. Unfortunately, you're just kind of like left out in this area. So we'll have to watch it day by day as we look at the European Ensemble forecast for the next 10 days. Again, a good opportunity for a lot of people to pick up this precipitation, but we do see the two corridors that seem to have the best chance for the heavier precipitation That's where I'm talking about more than 40 to 60 millimeters of precipitation. It's going to be where we get the terrain influence across western Alberta, and then where we get more of the heavy thunderstorm activity from the eastern half of Saskatchewan in through Manitoba. Again, the drier spot in this current pattern is going to be right here across southwestern Alberta. So let's look at the upper level pattern. We're looking at 500 millibar vorticity, where we see the red shading the deeper colors. That's where we have higher areas of positive vorticity, and where we see positive vorticity tracking is where we usually watch for cloud cover and precipitation, generally upward vertical motion within the atmospheric profile. Let's throw a bunch of big words at you here on this Monday morning. Generally, we just want to look at this pattern, noting the flow around that trough. Here we have that trough anchored here across western Canada into the Pacific Northwest of the U.S., but generally, as we just play this, you're going to watch these systems, these kind of upper-level waves. It's called the Fujiwara effect here. Eric talks about this in our Monday morning ag forecast video if you want to take a look at that and get a better idea of what's going on globally. I definitely recommend doing that. But we kind of see these two, three, four little waves, upper-level waves, rotating around each other, keeping this trough just pinwheeling across the Canadian Prairie. And what that does is it just continues to pump storm systems through the area, little upper-level waves that are going to kick off, clusters of showers and thunderstorms, if not more well-defined areas of low pressure across the region. And that's just what keeps the shower and storm chances in the area, if not every day, at least every few days as we head through the next 7 to 10 days. So let's go ahead and take a look at the European model precipitation forecast. Again, just raw from the operational model. We've talked kind of in depth about the next couple of days here with that best chance for precipitation, the heavier rain being in kind of these two pockets, but everyone's seeing at least the chance for these showers and storms. Let's go ahead and take it through the day on Monday, watching that rainfall heaviest down toward the U.S. border. As we head into the overnight hours, we start to see this next area of low pressure lifting up into the area. We talked about Tuesday's thunderstorm chances being highest across this corridor, and then the same thing on Wednesday as this front begins to lift. We see that thunderstorm chance lifting to where the best chance for more widespread rain and thunderstorm activity is going to be kind of in an arc from central Alberta through central Saskatchewan down into central and southern Manitoba. Let's take the drawings off. Let's head into Thursday. Remember seeing this area of low pressure. This one, again, they're doing this kind of pinwheel dance. So this trough begins to lift back toward the northwest, retrograding back toward the northwest. But we know that we have more short waves lingering back here, just waiting to pivot around the base of this trough into the Canadian Prairie. So let's take the drawings off. Let's head a little bit deeper into the end of the week. This is Thursday now. Maybe a dry window across... maybe more dry than wet, I should say. There will be opportunities for showers and storms across the prairie on Thursday. Heading into Friday, again, drier. Saturday, though, we see our next wave begin to pinwheel around the base of this. So, again, a couple days possibly dry here towards the end of the week, Thursday and Friday. But this pattern as a whole, as a background state, continues through the weekend into next week. So, potentially active next 7 to 14 days across the Canadian Prairie. Take a look at where instability is the highest. That will show us where the severe storm chance is going to be the highest the next several days. Let's take it into the peak afternoon hours of today. This will be Monday afternoon. Again, quite unstable as you head into southeastern Saskatchewan, southern Manitoba. That's where, if we're going to see any severe storms, it'd be probably confined to that area today. As we head into Tuesday afternoon and evening, again, southeastern Saskatchewan, southern Manitoba, your highest instability in that area. Maybe a couple stray strong storms across portions of Alberta, producing some gusty winds, maybe some marginally severe hail. And let's take it into Wednesday. Again, this lifts north. We see that arc of severe storms possible, again, from central Alberta down into central Saskatchewan and central Manitoba. And what's happening here is, even though, it's not quite as hot and muggy across central Alberta, we see some of that warm and humid air being transported up and over the top of that frontal boundary back towards the main area of low pressure across British Columbia and Alberta. And then what happens is we've got the trough and the jet stream kind of anchored across this region. We'll draw the jet stream winds in orange. And in the base of that area of low pressure, you get much colder upper level temperatures. So at the ground level, it's not as hot and muggy, but with the upper level temperatures being much colder, you still get that imbalance. You still get some weak instability, and that's why we could even see some strong storms as far west as central portions of Alberta as we get deeper into the week. And this main area of low pressure begins to retrograde back to the northwest, bringing that little pause as we go towards the end of the week. So the hunt for 25 millimeters of precipitation here over the next 7 days. We're looking at the European Ensemble forecast of greater than 1 inch or 25 millimeters, where you see the orange and the red shading. That's where you're getting close to 100%. probability there. And again, I do this just to show the window here that makes me worried about potentially being missed here. And again, that's across southwestern Saskatchewan, maybe into southeastern Alberta. We're looking at the European ensemble on the left, the GFS ensemble over here on the right. Now, as we look at temperatures, again, they're going to continue to be warmest in the east and cooler in the west, at least until we head into the end of the week and we start to see that trough begin to kind of retrograde back to the northwest. That's going to allow things to kind of even back out as we head into the weekend, at least temporarily. We can see that here with temperature forecast for Calgary, highs in the upper teens until we get to Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We finally climb back to more seasonally appropriate levels in the low to mid 20s. Very similar look here in Edmonton, cool for the next 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, warming up into the end of the week. Saskatoon, similarly, warming into the upper 20s by the time we get to the weekend. Same thing in Regina, and then over here in Winnipeg, where we continue to be hot each and every day, highs in the lower 30s for the next several days, really until we get to the end of the forecast period here where we lose some confidence. So it does look like warm temperatures are here to stay, at least for the next week, across southern portions of Manitoba. Something I wanted to mention here, questions, comments, feedback, photos. It's a little bit tricky doing the forecast down here in the Midwest of the United States, here in central Illinois for the Canadian Prairie, somewhere that is a solid 1,000 miles away. Again, I feel like I get a good handle on the weather there, but not being there, it's a different experience to forecast somewhere where I'm not actually experiencing that weather then each and every day. So I want to hear from you, the ones who are watching each and every day that we put out these forecasts for the Canadian Prairie. You can shoot me an email if you've got questions. You got some comments. I'm kind of mispronouncing something. It was great. I was, mispronouncing Saskatchewan when I first started doing this, and it was great to hear that feedback. So if it's something, nitpicky like that, throw it at me. If I am, missing something there, you really need some rain on one of your fields in there, you want to let me know that. You had some severe storms, you want to send me a picture of hail. Anything that can connect me to your fields, that can connect me to the weather in your backyard, I love it. So shoot me an email, find me on Twitter, and let's connect. Let's make this more of a community feel. As always, we'll talk to you again on Wednesday morning. Have a great day and a wonderful start to your week.